Again, good day, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to begin this afternoon's program. May I remind everyone of our guidelines during our event. As a general practice, kindly mute your microphones at all times when someone is speaking. Please be mindful of surrounding noise in your location as a courtesy to the speaker. Please use the raise hand button to be recognized. You may also write in the chat box to notify the organizers of your messages. As we are about to begin in a couple of minutes, please mute all microphones and turn off your cameras until the session proper. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the national colors of SEAMEO member and associate member countries.
Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Lao PDR, Malaysia, Myanmar,
The Philippines,
Singapore, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Vietnam, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Spain,
and
the United Kingdom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ang silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupit, di ka pasisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong baghang, may nilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdiligdig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walang pagsinta, ay langit sa atin mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mamapit, magmamatay ng dahil sa'yo. To INNOTECH we have come with hope so bright. The million learners' voices ring, they all thrive in the love of light that lifelong learning brings. Through the decades we floating on the way, we lead the change, we serve and grow, ever the Southeast Asian way, a future bright and true. At INNOTECH we learn and share, to care for all the learners.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Michelle Sarabillo. I'm the Learning and Training Development Officer of INNOTECH. I am pleased to serve as your host in this program. Thank you for tuning in and joining us in this virtual launch of Spectrum, the coffee table book celebrating INNOTECH's 50 vibrant years of existence and the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards. We will begin our program with the welcome remarks from the Center Director of INNOTECH, Dr. Ramon C. Bacani.
Distinguished speakers, participants, and guests, welcome to today's launching ceremonies. This event is billed as a double feature, one looking at the past through INNOTECH's 50th anniversary coffee table book entitled Spectrum, and the other offering a glimpse of the future through the grant of the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards. As a backgrounder, SEAMEO INNOTECH celebrated its 50th anniversary as a regional center early last year. We had planned on a year-long celebration. Unfortunately, the COVID pandemic derailed our plans. Nevertheless, we were still able to push through with the composition of a new INNOTECH hymn, which was performed by a professional group of singers in the anniversary dinner reception last year. You were able to hear it earlier in this program. This time, it was performed and recorded by our very own INNOTECH staff, showcasing the center's diverse talents. This song will be played in important center events, such as this one that we are holding. To document 50 years of history, the anniversary coffee table book entitled Spectrum was produced. This is a compilation of stories and insights from key education stakeholders who have been part of INNOTECH's programs and projects over the years, demonstrating the center's contribution to their individual professional growth on a broader scale to education development in Southeast Asia. Some 73 education leaders and professionals shared their stories in the Spectrum. Aside from collecting the stories and putting them together in a single volume, a website for the anniversary was also produced. It is a collection of videos, stories, and digital memorabilia that were organized and made accessible to viewers. It is also a digital time capsule, which has online chat and other features which enable viewers, such as our alumni from the 11 SEAMEO member countries, to share their stories and update information. An equally important part of today's event is the celebration of achievements in innovation in education through the grant of the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards. These awards aim to recognize teachers and school leaders who have made positive impact through the innovations that they introduced. Through these awards, we hope to promote and sustain a culture of innovation in the schools in the Southeast Asian region that will contribute to upgrading our educational system. We therefore wish to call on the Ministries of Education in the region, our international and regional development partners, non-government organizations, and other education stakeholders to support our search for outstanding and innovative teachers and school leaders who will be conferred the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards. On this note, let me again welcome all of you to this launching ceremonies. Thank you and good day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bacani. I invite you all to please visit our anniversary website. We will share the link in the chat box and comment section of Facebook and YouTube. On the website, there is a section, Share a Testimony, section where you can write down your narratives and stories about INNOTECH. We hope that you can check it out and share your stories with us. Ladies and gentlemen, as we share our golden year with you, we would like to look back at the highlights of the celebration of INNOTECH's 50th year.
"50 years ago, the idea of harnessing instructional technologies to develop education in Southeast Asia was born. We believed we could do this best if we innovate for the region without following traditional or imported models, while linking the countries of the region together by mutual benefit. SEAMEO INNOTECH reached its 50th year through the generosity of partners and stakeholders. But if there's somebody we owe the most gratitude to, it's the government of the Philippines, through the Office of the Department of Education.
Innovations in INNOTECH have always been of great use to us, especially in the Department of Education. Not only in research, and we rely heavily on INNOTECH research, but also in innovations in teaching, approaches to new ways of presenting subjects and curricula, and also the opportunities to exchange views, information, and new ways of doing things with fellow educators, fellow teachers, and fellow administrators in the region. We are now pivoting from making education accessible to more and more Filipinos, and also perhaps to other learners in other countries. But we are now shifting also to quality. We cannot, in a sense, improve education. We cannot introduce better quality teaching, books, and of course learners without innovation. We'll be leaning more on INNOTECH insofar as our educalidad shift or pivot is concerned. As we move towards quality, we have to lean on innovation. We have to lean on technology. We have to lean on research.
The thousands of educators who have joined our programs are now the testament to our successes, both big and small.
Guro 21 changed 80% of my career as an educator because I gained knowledge, skills, and values. I did multitasking, teaching, nurturing children and families, and strengthening communities. But an achievement I'm most proud of is called Tulak Kaalaman, or Pushing Knowledge, targeting 3 education advocacies: alternative delivery modes, education in emergencies, and water, sanitation, and hygiene. Tulak Kaalaman addresses inclusiveness, accessibility of quality education to the marginalized, and the needs of pupils at risk of dropping out, children with special needs, and victims of abuse, discrimination, and trafficking. With all these accomplishments, I can say that Guro 21 contributed greatly to my success as a 2019 Princess Mahat Chakri awardee given to outstanding teachers in Southeast Asia. I got to join a SEAMEO INNOTECH flexible course on educational leadership, where we had online sessions with a tutor. But it was one of my learning experiences that I really treasure because I had a lot of insights and concepts that I understood and that I brought with me when I became a principal, especially on the core functions of leadership: instructional leadership, strategic leadership, technology leadership. Knowing all this prepares you when you become a principal. I was able to implement these concepts. That's why this course was a big help.
it's so easy to get buried in the day-to-day operations of the department, but we also have to think, and I believe that we should look at the future of education. What is education going to be like? How do we prepare our children, our learners better? And how do we capacitate our teachers more and more so that they can be of greater use to the learners? So we are forming a what I describe a futures study group, the future of education. And this means that we will be relying and we will be looking in the direction of INNOTECH to help us identify these trends.
Despite the challenging situation last year, INNOTECH was able to make some relevant contributions to the education community, which were part of the highlights of our 50th year celebration. We are grateful to you, our partners, for experimenting and learning with us. We look forward to be alongside you all as we continue to serve the learners in the region. Part of this afternoon's program is an interactive activity that we will do for and with you, our dear viewers. You know that at INNOTECH, no activities are ever passive. We want you to be engaged and have fun. Now, to join the activity, kindly go to kahoot.it. That's kahoot.it and enter the code you see on your screen. That's 289065. 289065. Again, please go to kahoot.it and enter the code 289065. We are posting the link and code in the chat box and comment section of Facebook and YouTube. Please take a screenshot of your name so we would know who you are and how we could get in touch with you when we send you your prize. Yes, you heard it right. We are giving away copies of the Spectrum Coffee Table book to lucky audience out there. So here's a copy of the book. I hope we got you excited. All you need to do is answer this question. What comes to your mind when you hear about SEAMEO INNOTECH? What comes to your mind when you hear about SEAMEO INNOTECH? You may submit a word or a phrase that comes to you when you think of INNOTECH. Friends, again, go to kahoot.it and enter the code 289065 and answer the question, what comes to your mind when you hear about SEAMEO INNOTECH? So while waiting for your answers, please allow me to share mine. As a member of INNOTECH, the first thing that comes to mind is the vision of INNOTECH. We have a very inspiring and lofty vision of co-creating a better future for every learner in Southeast Asia. It serves as our North Star, our guide. So even when the going gets really, really tough, just like what happened last year with the global pandemic, tilting the world upside down, it's what sustains the fire in my belly and the drive and energy to stay the course. I'm excited to see your responses. It says here, the biggest word is innovation. Yes, we are a regional center for innovation. The word INNOTECH, the INNO there stands for innovation. As an innovation center, we are expected to incubate, innovate, and implement educational solutions for our partners in the region. There's excellence, education solutions. I wonder what particular education solution you have in mind. We have visionary, collaboration, conferences. Yes, every 2 years, we gather everyone for our international conferences. We have learning leader, fun online courses, flexible learning, and you also said resilient, vibrant. I wish we have all the time to read through all your answers. Sadly, we don't. Please keep your answers coming. We will be collecting all of them as they are a very good feedback to us here at the center. Because as we always say, feedback is a gift. How you perceive INNOTECH matters to us. Please keep your browsers open and do not close the Kahoot window just yet. We will have another question for you in a little while. The names of our lucky viewers who will win a copy or who will get a copy of Spectrum will be announced at the end of the program. So please stay tuned. Moving on, we will now invite our guests in the Zoom room for a group photo. Everyone in the Zoom room, there are almost 200 of us. Please open your cameras so we can capture this very special gathering. Please open your cameras and smile. As there are a number of pages, yes, that we need to take a screenshot of, we ask that you please hold your smile until we reach the very last page. Smile your most beautiful smile until we reach the last page. My colleague here will tell me when it's done. All right, it's done. We can now move on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So a copy of the photo will be posted on our social media sites. At this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Ethel Agnes P. Valenzuela, Director of the SEAMEO Secretariat, for her message.
Honorable Director Ramon C. Bacani, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. May I begin by expressing my heartfelt congratulations to Director Ramon C. Bacani and everyone at SEAMEO INNOTECH on the launch of Spectrum, Stories of SEAMEO INNOTECH's 50 Vibrant Years and the SEA Educational Innovation Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, during the first meeting of SEAMEO Council in November 30, 1965, the SEAMEO Council founding members have shared a vision to establish a regional institute of technology. At the time, the SEAMEO member countries face a lot of opportunities, such as an ASEAN highway and the Mekong projects, as well as the growth-inducing impulses that call for a considerable expansion of the supply of high-level and middle-level manpower, particularly the supply of technical and technological personnel. In that meeting, there was a general consideration and opinion of recognizing the need for a regional action, particularly to address the development of technical and technological manpower. There was a quest for establishing the Regional Training Center for Educational Radio and Television, that some countries use both educational training of technical and professional personnel in the operation and programming of radio and television programs to assist in the development of basic program materials which could be translated and adapted to each country's needs. The introduction of modern technology and the development of industries and the expansion of communication and other economic infrastructure and the modern equipment and utilization in training materials are felt need at the time. Thus, after a series of consultation led by SEAMEO Secretariat from the first meeting onwards, during the CIMEC meeting on January 23, 1970, SEAMEO Council approved the establishment of SEAMEO INNOTECH in Vietnam. However, in July 1, 1976, SEAMEO INNOTECH was relocated to the Philippines in the light of unrest in Indochina at the time. There was also a hosting of SEAMEO Council meeting in 1980. It was a fantastic hosting led by our then President Ferdinand Marcos. Last year, January 23, 2020, SEAMEO INNOTECH marked its golden anniversary, and SEAMEO INNOTECH today launches its commemorative book called Spectrum, signifying its colors over the last 50 years. Red for excellence in action, exemplifying energy, passion, action, and ambition. Green for growth and social responsibility, marking the collaborative contributions to education in the region and beyond. Yellow, drivers of innovation, working on boundless space of innovation as INNOTECH takes a bold step to deliver timely innovation in the field of education. Magenta, harmony in collaboration, and blue, integrity at work. INNOTECH is 51 years old now, but looking back on the milestones and with their activities and commitments, SEAMEO INNOTECH is 51 years young, not only just beginning to flex its wings, dreaming of an even brighter future, energetically moving forward, building on your illustrious history of academic and institutional achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes time to build a strong regional organization. I'm aware that SEAMEO INNOTECH's position as the leading institution for developing innovation and technology-based solutions in education may have been achieved over the last 50 years. And thanks to the tireless efforts and selfless dedication of the officials and people who supported SEAMEO INNOTECH, including the Ministries of Education in the region, and particularly the Department of Education, who provided financial support over the years. As we can see in the Book of Spectrum, stories of SEAMEO INNOTECH's 50 vibrant years, there are so many tales and narratives of the well-known educators who helped shape the center, grew into what it is today, and whose lives flourish in return because of their engagement and work in the organization. Ladies and gentlemen, for over 5 decades, SEAMEO INNOTECH served as a thought leader for the significant strides in education and literacy in the region, with a strategic collaboration among education actors and stakeholders in Southeast Asia and even beyond. Today's demands on SEAMEO centers and units are numerous, especially in this time of pandemic, when teachers and learners face more challenges in mobile learning, flexible learning, and remote education. One of the most crucial solutions is to go into internationalization, to be more open to currents beyond our boundaries and more adaptable in order to take advantage of the opportunities provided by former close linkages with leading institutions and industries throughout the world. It is my sincere hope that in the years ahead, we will work even closer together, not only within the SEAMEO family, but also with the experts from civil society, industry, educational development agencies, international and regional organizations, stakeholders, to debate on issues that we will face in the next century, such as addressing educational disruptions for the benefit of the Southeast Asian region and also the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, I am also honored to pass the leadership on SEAMEO Innovation Awards to INNOTECH. The SEA Educational Innovation Awards has kicked off in 2018, and some centers were able to award educational innovators in technology. I'm truly honored to see that this award continues on with SEAMEO INNOTECH, leading it, and happy to be here today to join the launch. The Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards expands on SEAMEO Secretariat's earlier initiatives to honor teacher innovators. SEAMEO INNOTECH is committed to continuing the project and making the awards a sustainable platform for showcasing the effective ideas and innovations in teacher professional development and school principals who are the target candidates for this cycle. We have a lot of work to do as learning and innovation never stop. To our esteemed director, Ramon Bacani, my dear friends and colleagues, in the coming century, we will all be confronted with the new, hitherto anticipated concerns, threats, and scourges. People in Southeast Asia are counting on us to turn our goodwill and good intentions into tangible and visible progress in educational innovation. In line with SEAMEO INNOTECH's vision of a better future for every Southeast Asian learner, let us work diligently and creatively to achieve our common and individual goals. SEAMEO Secretariat will always be a partner in reaching out to the various ministries of education and national education agencies in the region, as well as to the SEAMEO Secretariat's networks and partners. Congratulations once more, and I'm excited to see more of SEAMEO INNOTECH's initiatives and accomplishments in the upcoming years. Thank you very much, and maraming salamat po.
Indeed, learning and innovating shall never stop. Thank you so much, Dr. Valenzuela and SEAMEO Secretariat, for your continued support to the center. Since 1976, INNOTECH has been hosted by the Philippine government through the Department of Education. May I now call on Her Excellency, Professor Leonor Magtolis-Briones, Philippine Secretary of Education and the Vice President of the SEAMEO Council of Ministers, for her message.
It is my honor to join the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education organization, particularly the Regional Center for Innovation and Technology, in the launching of the book of INNOTECH, which is Spectrum, Stories of SEAMEO INNOTECH's 50 Vibrant Years. And we are very pleased to endorse this book for the information of those who advocate not only cooperative work within our country, but also with other Southeast Asian countries, and as well as the contributions of our stakeholders. The services rendered by the center and its contributions to the host country, which is INNOTECH's solutions and services, especially in the wake of the pandemic, are much appreciated and demonstrate our rallying cry that education must take place no matter when, no matter where, no matter how, and no matter what. And INNOTECH has been making very useful contributions along this line. The center's innovations relates to promoting access and improved quality of education in the context of major disruptions, enabled by appropriate technology and drawing from research. Policy decisions that we make must be based on knowledge, based on research, and based on rational and reasoned thinking. These innovations from INNOTECH address the needs of the key education sectors in the region, such as our very own teachers, our education policy makers, our school managers, and the communities they serve. The Philippines, being the host country, benefits from the center's services and programs while showcasing the best of Philippine education. And so once more, congratulations to SEAMEO INNOTECH. I hope and I believe all of us will be better informed about the levels of cooperation we are undertaking with our fellow Southeast Asian ministries of education, as well as the assistance and the services that SEAMEO INNOTECH has been rendering the Philippines as the host country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Secretary Briones, for your message. You have heard the inspiring thoughts of our education leaders. It is now time to present a major output in celebrating our 50th year anniversary. Our offering to you is the Spectrum, a coffee table book that showcases the impact of the center's programs and activities over the past 5 decades, framed by individual narratives of the writers and stakeholders. Spectrum also offers a glimpse of how future programs and services will be shaped amidst the changes taking place in the education landscape. Let us know more about the Spectrum through this video presentation.
The choice of Spectrum as the title for the Center's 50th anniversary coffee table book came from a brainstorming session which the Information Management Unit had at the KRC Pantry in 2019. Back then, we were discussing about what possible metaphor can best describe the Center's 50 years of operation in Southeast Asia. There were actually a number of ideas that surfaced, and one that resonated with us the most is the idea where the Center was likened into a prism whereby any light that passes through it produces a multitude of colors or a spectrum of colors. So that is how we wanted to view the Center, as an organization that can bring out the best in every learner or individual, whereby they will be able to realize their potential and contribute to the education system of the region. So after being able to identify the metaphor that can best describe the Center's history and operation, our next challenge was to be able to identify again what will be the organizing principle as we gather the narratives. So with further searching, we've chanced upon this study called as the color theory, whereby significant meanings are given to certain colors. So as we'll delve more into the color theory, we've seen more alignment with the theory to the Center's operation over the years. We've learned that the Center has operated and anchored most of its programs based on its core values. So with the Center's core values, or 5 core values, and 5 decades of operation, we were able to derive 5 primary colors from the color theory. Red signifies excellence in action, or our passion. Blue signifies integrity or professionalism at work. Yellow for creativity and innovation. Green for growth and social responsibility. And magenta for harmony and collaboration. So as we implement more the project, we begin to appreciate more what the learnings we have gained out of it. But most especially, the discovery of how the stakeholders perceive the Center from their own experience. And hearing this perspective, we have learned that well, it's an eye-opening experience for us because we've understand that simple projects, simple programs can really mean a big difference in the lives of our stakeholders. It's inspiring to read their stories, inspiring to know their story of success, their story of hope, their story of friendship, forged over engagement in the Center. It's also so heartwarming to learn that some of them were able to get over a number of challenges because they have learned a lot from the Center. So it's really inspiring to read the stories and be able to see from their perspective how the Center has made an impact in their lives. So if you will ask me about the significance of this book, I guess more than it's a great memento of what the center has achieved over the past 50 years, it is a perfect reminder for us, especially now, as we face challenges like this pandemic, that the center, can develop more programs, can create more projects that can impact the lives of the learners in Southeast Asia, and that we can bring out and realize more the potential of every learners in the region and beyond.
Warm greetings from Brunei Darussalam. First of all, I'd like to congratulate SEAMEO INNOTECH for coming up with a coffee table book entitled Spectrum. It is indeed a wonderful book to read, as it brings back sweet memories of my stay at SEAMEO INNOTECH. I can still remember vividly the training staff at the time. They were so professional, knowledgeable, and supportive at the same time, that in many ways made it easier to be away from home and family. I'm confident that INNOTECH will prosper and continue to be relevant to the needs of SEAMEO member countries under the leadership of Mr. Ramon Bacani and the professional and dedicated training staff. Lastly, I would like to thank INNOTECH for giving me the opportunity to be part of its history. Keep up the good job. All the best, INNOTECH, and God bless. Thank you.
Congratulating SEAMEO INNOTECH for its 50 vibrant years of serving Southeast Asian countries. The men and women of SEAMEO INNOTECH are truly dedicated, committed in contributing to the spectrum of ideas which live and will leave a mark among the clientele served. My warmest congratulations and thank you for making me a part of your story, a part of your journey, and a part of your vibrant 50th year. In this launching of Spectrum, as you said, like Spectrum, SEAMEO INNOTECH, it is an entire range of wavelengths, continuously moving, producing a range of colors, and in your case, producing ideas. My warmest congratulations.
I'm really pleased to be able to join you in the celebration of what is 50 years of a very remarkable history, and the launch of Spectrum, a book that I hope is going to be on lots of coffee tables in the months ahead. I have had a real good fortune in my life to have been part of the INNOTECH story, this continuing saga and drama that has been played out across Southeast Asia and the rest of the world. My role has been a small one. I've been a bit player among the cast of characters, but I will say it's been a recurring role, and which has lasted over 30 of at least of the 50 years of INNOTECH's life, and I'm very proud of that. My message today is simply to salute INNOTECH for this work that has played out in the wider international community, and just to express my hope that this will be part of the agenda for going forward. So I'd like to thank all the old friends and colleagues there at INNOTECH for letting me be part of this extraordinary history, and something tells me that the best is yet to come.
Allow me to share a few facts and figures that caused the book to be published and brought us to this point. Its genesis, so to speak. The fact is, this is not the only book ever published about SEAMEO INNOTECH. Back in 1987, Professor Bonifacio Salamanca of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, wrote the INNOTECH story, a detailed historiographic account of INNOTECH from its inception up to the point where we have a permanent home in Quezon City. For our 40th anniversary, we published a book of stories, mostly from the staff, of how SEAMEO INNOTECH enriched their professional and personal lives. That book, The Seeds for the Future, is also featured in the anniversary website. And for the golden anniversary, we have this volume that tells us the INNOTECH story through the programs, projects, solutions, and services offered to the Southeast Asian education community, and told through the stories of our partners and stakeholders. The adventure of putting this book together was truly fulfilling, but it was never an easy ride. We mobilized teams from all other offices and units of the center, reached out to friends across a couple of continents, dug out and pored over materials spanning 5 decades, and over the past 24 months, worked on setting the different stories together while braving through this pandemic. We can only hope that we were able to do justice to the INNOTECH story and to the stories of the 73 partners and stakeholders on how INNOTECH was able to shape the education landscape of Southeast Asia. Let me thank the teams of partners, editors, and support staff who contributed to this effort. Through this humble contribution, we pay tribute not only to the center through its partners and partnerships nurtured through the years. It is as much a story of the team's partnership in going the extra mile, making the extra effort, stretching the day to make Spectrum possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Spectrum is more than a collection of INNOTECH stories. In many ways, it captures the relevance of our 50 years of meaningful service to the education community in Southeast Asia and beyond. It celebrates the relationships and partnerships that we have built and grown over the years. Printing and production of the coffee table book is done, and we are ready to put them in the readers' hands. But our story, the story of INNOTECH and its partners, shall continue. To all our contributing writers, thank you so much for sharing your wonderful thoughts and experiences with the center. We would also like to thank the special guests in the video, Dr. Steven Zalone, Dr. Milabel Ho, and Shigunur, who gamely shared their thoughts beyond their individual chapters in the book. If you have any questions about Spectrum, please write them down in the chat box or comment section of Facebook and YouTube. We will have the opportunity to answer some of your questions later. We will now move to the second and last part of our online interactive activity. I hope you're excited and ready. Again, if you wish to join this activity for a chance to win a copy of Spectrum, please go to kahoot.it and enter the code 289065. So that's 289065. We've shared the link and code in the Zoom's chat box and comment section of Facebook and YouTube. So here's our second and last question. How do you feel about Spectrum? After having heard our speakers talk about INNOTECH and their personal experiences with INNOTECH, how do you feel about Spectrum? This time around, your response should be an emoji. There are 4 emojis that you can choose from. Please pick one that best describes how you feel about the book, even when you haven't read it yet. That's okay, just on the gut feel level. So do you feel like a celebrating emoji, a smiling emoji with 2 hearts, perhaps a meh emoji, or a blushing emoji, the trick is not to overthink it. I can see some entries coming in now. Most of you have chosen the smiling with two hearts emoji. Please keep them coming. Do send your emoji now, as our team is on the lookout for your responses. Again, please don't forget to take a screenshot of your registration and keep your browser open throughout the event. We will be announcing the names of the lucky viewers, and you will be getting this book, a copy of Spectrum here. Thank you so much for joining our interactive activities. I hope that you had fun. Again, names of lucky viewers who will get a copy of Spectrum will be announced later. So please stay tuned. Having revisited our past 50 years, the next part of our event celebrates the future. We are inviting you to be part of the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards, which will be presented to you in detail. If you have questions, please write them down in the chat box or comment section of Facebook and YouTube. Let us now listen to INNOTECH's Philippine representative to the governing board and its current chair, Undersecretary of Education, Dr. Jesus L.R. Mateo, as he presents the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards.
Allow me to add my voice to the collective expression of praise and felicitations to the INNOTECH team headed by Dr. Ramon Bacani for this noteworthy event, which brought together stories of the various partners the center has worked with over the past years. It is indeed a fitting document that brings together the concrete projects and contributions to the educational development in the region. In true INNOTECH fashion, they made it more interesting by drawing out the stories from the different players throughout its 5 decades of history. I'm happy to say, but at the same time humbled, that I am part of that group and my story would belong to what we call the red color. Indeed, it was a story of passion, action, as well as determination. My involvement with the INNOTECH certainly enhanced my passion as a civil servant, a public trustee, if you will, in reaching out to Filipino educators and other counterparts in Southeast Asia. Among the many initiatives within the framework of INNOTECH's celebration of its golden year is to celebrate the many innovations that emerge from the creativity and expertise of teachers, principals, and other educators working throughout the region. This is indeed looking into the future of learning and the learning environment of the future, one that is shaped by diverse learning needs, different learning contexts, and priorities. Cutting across all the different needs of the learners and the demand for education workers, our teachers, academic, non-academic staff, administrators, and school managers, as well as supervisors and the various workers whose work reached to students, parents, and the community as a whole. Whilst much progress had been made over the years, the demand for innovative ways of delivering meaningful and engaging learning experiences has even become greater. INNOTECH and its programs evolved from Southeast Asia, confronting many different development issues. Now, the region's education sector confronts issues of quality, equity, excellence, and performance. The region's achievements in the area of education are indeed worth celebrating, and the INNOTECH Governing Board directed the Center to work on recognizing innovations that contributed towards improving teaching, learning, and governance of education services. Innovation is in the center's DNA, and we must endeavor to recognize the various innovations introduced by teachers, principals, and various education workers across the region. And true to its mandate, the award and recognition for innovative practices also offers an opportunity for these outstanding education workers to share their exemplary practices. INNOTECH will never miss an opportunity to learn and share the valuable ideas that may be replicated and help usher improvements in their own learning environments. The award is meant to be given out in 2-year cycles, corresponding to the INNOTECH International Conferences, the biannual event that brings together education players in the Southeast Asia and beyond to learn and discuss the issues on education, innovation, as well as technology. INNOTECH's International Conference since 1987 has been a major event for the thought leaders in education. In aligning the grant of the award with that of international conference, the winning innovations in education can have a ready platform to share, inspire other educators, and hopefully engage them in a meaningful dialogue. Participation in the international conference is also meant to usher in a series of learning fora among education thought leaders in the region. When the INNOTECH Governing Board deliberated on the grant of the award, the SEAMEO Secretariat through Dr. Ethel Valenzuela endorsed the idea and proposed merging the Education Innovation Awards initiated by the SEAMEO Secretariat into this award, making it a region-wide initiative. The award seeks to recognize and value the outstanding contributions of the various education actors who have introduced and applied innovative approaches, strategies, and practices to improve actions of various aspects of teaching, learning, and governance of education. And these innovations may come in the form of new materials, new practices, improvements in the ways of managing a classroom, or better ways of engaging learners at the school or learning center level. These innovations may be in the form of new practices or sharing and managing information and data in schools, platforms and mechanisms for sharing and exchanging knowledge and information and improving teacher capabilities. At the level of the school, effective engagement of the community and the other stakeholders are also opportunities for introducing those innovations and practices for better learning. But the award does not stop at recognition, although we do see the power of highlighting an example. More importantly, we hope to see the start of professional knowledge sharing among Southeast Asian teachers, school heads, and other categories of education actors, even parents and community leaders. INNOTECH would be there to facilitate and support these groups, which is our small contribution to building the Southeast Asian community. INNOTECH was built around addressing problems and concerns in education in the region, and this takes a new aspect of the center's role of the region's education development. One that celebrates strengths as we recognize the innovations that work towards achieving the goals of education within the diverse operational context. So, for 2021 award cycle, the theme for the award is Educational Innovations in the Time of COVID, Exploring Possibilities to Improve Learning for All. The COVID-19 pandemic is the single biggest disruption in education confronted by the region over the past decades. Indeed, it challenged all educational systems in the region to address the twin issues of ensuring a safe learning environment for teachers and learners whilst meeting the learning needs of students. The past year also yielded opportunities for various education players to step up and introduce new and effective practices that address the needs and requirements for effective teaching and learning in various contexts. These innovations are evident in the classrooms through various materials and use of technology-enabled learning delivery mechanisms, effective assessment mechanisms, as well as teaching practices. At the school level, school heads and supervisors have initiated new ways of engaging teachers, ensuring synergy and sharing of knowledge and practices, as well as adapting prescribed practices to manage teaching practices. In recognizing new and effective practices in the schools and in the classroom level, the award covers two categories. One, recognizing group achievement led by a school head and the innovative practices of a teacher. Thus, our call for nominations will be for teachers and school heads. The award nomination forms can be downloaded from the INNOTECH website. Posters, information notes, and forms are also being sent to the Ministries of Education of Southeast Asia, as well as the various institutional partners of INNOTECH, such as development agencies, non-government organizations, civil society organizations, and academic institutions, including various partner institutions in the region. The detailed instructions on the submissions are provided in the information notes. Don't forget, all nominations must reach SEAMEO INNOTECH by 31st of August 2021. The award Secretariat will make an initial review of the nominations to ensure that entries comply with the requirements set. An international panel of experts will be invited to review and narrow down the nomination in each category. Final selection will be made by the INNOTECH Governing Board in its 63rd meeting scheduled for October 2021. The awardees for school head and teacher categories will be invited to present the award-winning innovation to the next SEAMEO INNOTECH International Conference. Aside from participation in this conference, the awardees will be given 1. A trophy of recognition, 2. International travel grant to the Philippines to participate in the said conference, 3. Travel grant to another Southeast Asian country to present through a knowledge forum among principals and teachers their winning innovations. The grant for travel would be up to $3,000 for each category, and these award-winning innovations will be published by SEAMEO INNOTECH as a monogram. Aside from that, the above-mentioned grants, the awardees may be invited to share their expertise in relevant projects and initiatives of the SEAMEO INNOTECH and other partners. Further information on the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Award are available through the Award Secretariat at SEAMEO INNOTECH. So, from this small beginning, we hope to engage more partners and co-sponsors as the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards gain traction in the region's education community. We hope to further explore other categories of education actors with the shared purpose of making a difference in the lives of learners, the schools and teachers, as well as the communities served by the schools. Finally, let me add again my words of thanks and appreciation to the organizers of this event and look forward to seeing your nominations and entries to the award. So, let me leave you with a glimpse of the award to be won by our outstanding innovators.
Thank you so much, Undersecretary Mateo. Before we move to the next part of our program, I'd like to acknowledge all the messages of congratulations and best wishes here in Zoom. Thank you so much. Please allow me to read a few of them, just a few of them. From Ms. Tess Felipe, thanks for sharing the inspiring 50 years of education innovations and expanding partnerships. Congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Tess. From Mr. Thomas LeBlanc of USAID, congratulations, SEAMEO INNOTECH, and thank you so much for inviting me to your book launch. Thank you so much for being here, Sir Thomas. From Mrs. Mila Talino, congratulations and more power to SEAMEO INNOTECH, most especially to Dr. Bacani and his team. Thank you very much for all the support and assistance to basic education in this country and in Southeast Asia. Thank you so much, Ms. Talino. And last one, from Dr. Tinseri, congratulations, SEAMEO INNOTECH, great book, great launch, and great program. You are all as efficient as always. Happy to be part of this celebration, being part of SEAMEO INNOTECH's memory. Thank you so much for all those kind words. So we'd like to acknowledge that on Facebook we have 83, yes, 83 and 24 people watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. At this point, we are opening the floor for a few questions you might have about the Spectrum and Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards. Joining us is Mr. Benito Benosa, the manager of INNOTECH's Knowledge Management and Networking Office, to answer your questions. Good afternoon, Sir Bennett.
Good afternoon, Mitch, and good afternoon to our partners who have joined us on Zoom and YouTube and FB Live.
So we have a question from Facebook. This is from Mrs. Flora Castillo of Lawag. Her question is, given the transition to the new normal and challenges in education, how can INNOTECH help teachers like me deal with digital tools in teaching?
Thank you very much, Ms. Castillo, for that question. As the name says, educational innovation and technology. And we have been happy to be making some contributions along those lines by developing capacity of the teachers, assisting the schools, and of course the ministries or the departments of education and the various field units through technical assistance, capacity building programs, as well as the added information to help them out plan and implement programs to improve technology for teaching and learning. That has taken greater significance now with most schools in the Philippines embracing remote learning, whether through interactive print by modules or through radio, television, and of course, online programs. We do have a few online programs within offered by INNOTECH, particularly for teachers through Guro 21, as well as to develop capacities of teachers and the aptitudes and attitudes on becoming a better teacher every day. Those are but few of the technologies and services that we offer, not only to the Filipino teachers and school principals, other education workers, but also throughout Southeast Asia, where we are supposed to be serving. I hope I was able to answer your question, Ms. Castillo.
Thank you so much, Sir Bennett. Since you mentioned BBTE, or becoming a better teacher every day, we have one question on Facebook. This is from Mr. Michael Pantaleon. We in the SDO level are also initiating interventions for teachers' professional development and growth through establishing a BBTE, or a Becoming a Better Teacher Every Day learning circles for our teachers. Is there also a category for SDO level? I think this is about the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards.
I see. Thank you, Mitch, for that clarification. If that is, there, as explained to us earlier by Undersecretary Mateo, for this cycle, meaning the year 2021-2020 awardees, we are covering mainly the school principal and the teacher. So we would be honoring innovations introduced by the school principal or group or supervisors, and that of the teachers. Now, while we have not mentioned specifically the schools division, but then we do honor the achievements of the whole of groups, no? Because we've realized education is a group effort. But then for this award cycle, we are focusing on the principal, for instance, the things that the principal introduced by way of learning circles for the school and the cluster, innovative ways of improving instruction or developing capacities of teachers, and then engaging the parents and the communities for delivery of education, especially in our current pandemic situation. So that is one category of awards that we hope to honor for this cycle. The other, of course, would be for the teachers, and knowing, of course, that a lot of effort has been is being made by the teacher to make sure that the children learn, engaging the parents to be partners in delivering learning to the children, to the children who are not reporting every day in the classrooms, and then of course engaging their colleagues as co-teachers, as well as becoming teaching by teams for children. These are but examples of the innovations that we hope to cover. Hopefully, come the future cycles, we would have our governing board would wish to focus on larger jurisdictions like the division, or in the case of Indonesia, for example, the district, or in Thailand, the education service area. But at the moment, unfortunately, we would have to focus on the principal and the school teacher. I hope I was able to respond to your query, Mr. Pantaleon.
Thank you so much, Sir Bennett. To a great extent, you've actually, addressed this question, but let me raise this anyway. This question, our last question, is from Mr. Fidel Santos of Bukidnon. Can an individual join the SEAMEO Educational Innovation Awards? Can an individual join the SEAMEO Educational Innovation Awards?
Yes, sir. The two categories, as we said, we honor the group achievement, but for this cycle, or actually because of limited resources on our part, we limit honoring individual achievements, no? And in this case, the individual principal who leads a group of teachers or education workers, and of course the teacher himself or herself who leads or who manages instruction given this pandemic situation. Hopefully in the future, there would be room for other education players and to be able to honor more, because we know that, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a whole province or a town to educate further the children and to run or to deliver education to the children. So we hope we will have scope for group awards. But to answer your question directly, at this point, we are only covering individuals, the principal who leads a school and the school teacher. Thank you, Mr. Santos.
Thank you, Sir Bennett, and thank you to our dear audience for sending in your questions. Earlier, we engaged you to participate in the Kahoot interactive activities. Now we are ready to announce the names of our lucky viewers who will get a copy of the Spectrum. I'm holding the book here. So our lucky viewers are Agent Bear, Balanced Condor, Fabulous Rabbit, and Gentle Koala. So that's Agent Bear, Balanced Condor, Fabulous Rabbit, and Gentle Koala. Congratulations to all our lucky viewers. Please present the screenshot of your registration so we can verify your identification. My colleague, Ms. Charm Balisnomo, will contact you soon. We will also post the names of our lucky audience on our social media platforms. Thank you to everyone who participated in the activities. If you wish to know more about the Spectrum and the Southeast Asian Educational Innovation Awards, please visit our website, www.seameo-innotech.org, and our social media accounts. As we bring our program to a close, we once again thank you for being part of INNOTECH's 50 vibrant years. We couldn't have done it without you. And thank you for spending your afternoon with us. We appreciate it so much. To those of you who viewed our streaming platforms and wish to get a certificate of attendance, please click the link to our program evaluation form, answer the form, and then e-certificate will be issued to you. We will also post the evaluation link on our social media sites. Let's continue the journey together. On to the next vibrant and exciting years of INNOTECH. Good afternoon, everyone, and stay safe.
To INNOTECH we have come with hope so bright. The billion learners' voices ring.